Okay, now when we write with modes, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One thing is kind of a terminology thing, but also a practicality thing, is don't confuse modes with keys. So we might be in the key of A minor. You might be using the Dorian mode, but you are not in the key of A Dorian. I kind of don't know why that is, because effectively you are in the key of A Dorian. It's just not something we say. We don't talk about modes in terms of the names of keys very often. Sometimes we do, but it's not very often. You're in a minor key or a major key, but you're using a certain mode, which means the key is altered, but we typically don't say we're in a Dorian mode or a Phrygian mode, a Dorian key or a Phrygian key or something like that. The word key doesn't really apply. We're using the scales, but we're in the closest minor or major key. Now, when you're writing in this, and you're going to see this in the next video when we make a track, one thing you want to do with modes is you want to keep in mind the notes or note that is altered, right? Think about what note has been changed that makes it not just the major or minor scale. And then you want to be sure you use that note. If you write something in a mode that, let's say it's like the Phrygian mode, so it has a lowered 2 scale degree, right? So if you do that, but you never use the lowered 2 scale degree, if you never hit it, so let's put some notes on that. Let's say we're in the key of E Phrygian. So you would have an F natural in there. So you have a minor scale basically with an F natural. If you never hit that F natural, if you never use the F natural, you're just in E minor. You're not in E Phrygian, because you have to remember the way it's going to sound. And if the listener never hears that note, never hears that altered 2, then you're just in the minor key, right? You can say you're in Phrygian, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't sound like Phrygian. You got to be sure and hit those notes and use them. Otherwise, you're just not in there. So keep that in mind, that we want to use those notes in our song. Sometimes it's as easy as just hitting it in the melody a couple times, like you'll see in this next video. But sometimes you want to get it into the chord progression and the bass line and the whole thing to make it feel like that mode a bit more. Okay, that being said, let's dive in and write a track using modes.